If you are an English native speaker learning European Portuguese, chances are you mispronounce this word. I have been racking my brain for years now, trying to put my finger on what the issue is, and it was only the other day when a new unschooler mispronounced the word for peacock that I got it. The person who preaches all the time about the importance of listening first. I finally got it. And if you must know, pavão is included in the first 600 words my unschoolers learn. I swear I have good reasons for it. Today I will explain the difference between the letter A and E in Portuguese to help you avoid continuing or starting, lucky you, to make this mistake. But first, a quick disclaimer. I have not yet found a case where this mistake would be life-threatening to you in Portugal, but I do guarantee we will have an easier time understanding you. And that's respect for the locals. If understanding spoken European Portuguese is something you feel you need to work on, you can also get my free No Cinderella pronunciation guide below. Olá, eu sou Catarina. I'm Portuguese, slightly mad about languages, and at the Language Unschool, I help foreigners find their voice in European Portuguese by listening first. Let's start with the ABC. No, I'm kidding. We only need to realize A can be open, A, or closed, E. The word casa includes both, casa, casa. The letter E can also be open, E, as in P, closed, E, as in medo, or even mute, as in D. The E is actually more chameleon than this, but now we're only interested on the occasions when it becomes mute. The mute E is not as foreign as you might think. In English, do you pronounce the E at the end of mate, make, take, fate, or even the first E in different? Oh boy, I just thought of a really good example. This word in British English is mole. Where did that E go? And the R, seriously. Things only start becoming a bit too foreign when sounds you may be familiar with already end up in unusual places in Portuguese. In other words, when the sequence of sounds appears in an order different to the one you would expect. That's precisely why today I'll show you how the mute E and the closed A are actually pretty familiar sounds to you already if you speak English, and then I'll explain how you can get used to pronouncing them correctly in Portuguese. No, I won't explain anything. You will hear the difference by yourself, and it's precisely because you can hear the difference that you will be able to produce the different sounds. Let's start with the word for head. Look, there's 2 A's and 1 E. How do you know if they'll be open, closed, mute? If you know where the queen is, you know the E in the middle must receive more emphasis than the other vowels. I explained this in my No Cinderella pronunciation guide, again, check below. So the question now is whether this is an open E or closed E. And the winner is the closed E. Don't ask me why, ask the Romans. So we have B in the middle. The other A's are what I call mistresses, meaning they must be closed because they are not the queen in this word. And a closed A is a sound you know very well how to produce. A boy, a house, a shoe. I'll have even better proof very soon, but let's go slowly. K, se. All together, K, B, se. Cinderella Portuguese has served us for a while, but we can't rely on the dream for too long. Snap out of it now, please. Slowly open your eyes and remember the most important thing about Portuguese pronunciation. The queen. Yes, focus on B, but by all means do not forget that E in K needs to be quiet, not ignored. It's a closed A, not a mute one that doesn't exist in Portuguese. Cabeça. It's not cabeça. It's cabeça. One more time. It's not cabeça. It's cabeça. I know it sounds like we swallow a lot when we speak, but let's not take it too far, okay? Now, how about the example I used in the beginning, which was puzzling me for a long time? What's the first question? Where's the queen? In ti, which is the penultimate syllable, which tells us the O's will become U, and the A will be a closed one, E. If we say it in Cinderella Portuguese, bocadinho. But a lot of you say bocadinho. Now, in real Portuguese, we'd even skip that first O and say cadinho. But the A stays, closed and all. Do you get the idea, or do you need some more examples? And most importantly, did you notice how we say peacock in Portuguese? I said it in the beginning. Don't worry, I'll help. Pavão. Pavão. And that word I mentioned earlier, which includes an S sound exactly in the same position as in its English translation, is balão. Balão, not balão. Balão. Of course, the end will be more audible. That's where the queen is after all. Well done for putting more emphasis on her, but the A at the start of the word still needs to be pronounced. In case you need more practice, falar, falar, falar. A closed A followed by an open A. Falar, falar. Janela, closed A, open E, closed A. Janela, janela, janela. Palavra, closed A, open A, closed A. Palavra, palavra, palavra. And now two which get mixed up all the time, and albeit not leading to major confusion, they can turn into a silly situation in case you say, I take my teeth. Levo os dentes, instead of I wash my teeth. Lavo os dentes. Levar. To take, mute E, open A, levar, levar, levar. Levar. To wash, closed A, levar, levar, levar. Let me put all of those into a sentence. Vai levar bocadinho até o pavão que não fala uma palavra de japonês encher este balão. Now slower and with my hand to help you see when the vowel is closed or mute versus open. Vai levar bocadinho até o pavão que não fala uma palavra de japonês encher este balão. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with a non-Japanese speaking peacock that we end today's video. I know it's not as lightweight as a balloon, so you might need a break and have some fun listening to this story that is just an excuse to teach you about verb conjugation in Portuguese. If, however, in comparison with verbs, the thought of phonetics seems magically more appealing, have a look at my No Cinderella pronunciation guide below. I really only bother about this because without understanding spoken Portuguese, you're stuck having monologues. But I do believe your voice in Portuguese matters. Obrigada por verem, obrigada por me ouvirem e até à próxima.